Envy is the most effective leash the system ever built. And most people don't even feel it tightening around their necks. They just call it motivation, or the grind, or success. They don't see that they are being trained to worship aging billionaires, the ones pulling the strings, orchestrating the societal downfall. They will never meet. To chase lifestyles they will never live. And to defend a game they will never be allowed to win. Be envious of them, not your common man struggling next to you. From the moment you are old enough to understand what money is, you are taught to look up at people who have more of it. Aging billionaires, pulling the strings, CEOs, legacy, families, tech founders, hedge fund guys, real estate barons, media moguls. These are the orchestrators who engineered the collapse we are all living through. Monopolies, debt traps, endless wars on affordability. You are taught that if you work hard enough, think positively enough, and sacrifice enough sleep and sanity, one day you might end up like them. Or, at least, closer to them than to the losers below you. That's the trick. The system doesn't need you to become rich. It only needs you to believe you could. The truth is, for the overwhelming majority of people, you will die closer to broke than billionaire. The letter you were promised, it's not a letter. It's a wall. The aging billionaires at the top did not get there by just working harder. They got there by owning things and rigging the game to ensure societal structures crumble around their fortress. Assets, companies, land, platforms, information, politicians, narratives. You are not failing because you haven't hustled hard enough. You are failing because you are playing a game designed so you can't win at scale. A few of you will be given golden tickets to maintain the illusion that hard work is all it takes. The rest are there to clap, consume, and compare themselves until they break. And we are all in this mess together now, drowning under endless subscription fees, skyrocketing rent, groceries that cost an arm and a leg, energy bills that never stop climbing. Every aspect of your daily life is locked behind a paywall, controlled by these aging billionaires and their corporate machines. The same ones orchestrating the downfall by design. Streaming services, cloud storage, software updates, banking apps, even the apps on your phone, nickel and dime you monthly just to exist in the modern world. They own the pipes, the platforms, the essentials, and they squeeze every drop out of you while you are too busy surviving to notice how total their grip is. Politicians sells you distractions. Blame this group. Hate that race. Rage at those immigrants or elites or welfare queens. But it's all a sleight of hand. Pointing fingers at each other keeps you from looking up at the orchestrators who jacked up the cost of living to fund their yachts and private jets. We are all bleeding cash into their system, And the tribal blame game is just a distraction to stop us from teaming up and pulling the plug. Politics is the most obvious symptom of this rigged setup. You are told the main battle of your life is left versus right, red versus blue, liberal versus conservative, this tribe versus that tribe. You pick a side, get emotionally invested, spend hours arguing online with strangers you'll never meet, and feel like you are doing something important. But behind the stage, the aging billionaires pulling the strings are sitting at the same table, with the same interests. Keep their wealth, keep their influence, keep you distracted as society crumbles around you. The tribal warfare is real in its consequences, but you fake in its origin. You think you are fighting the enemy. Most of the time, you are doing the marketing for them. Every election cycle, every culture war flare-up, every outrage story is basically an ad campaign orchestrated by the ones at the top. You are being sold an identity. I'm proud X. I'm an outraged Y. I'm not like those idiots on the other side. That identity gives you a sense of belonging and meaning, so you cling to it. You post about it. You argue about it. You distance yourself from friends and family over it. What you don't notice is that while you are emotionally bleeding out over these battles, the aging billionaires are quietly passing policies, making deals, and rewriting rules that secure their position for another generation. And jack up your subscription fees while they are at it, accelerating the downfall. You are emotionally invested in the show. They are invested in the script. Now, let's talk about the celebrities and talents that sit in between. They are the middle managers of culture, the system's influencers, mascots, and salespeople. They might be sinners, actors, athletes, YouTubers, entrepreneurs, podcast hosts, thought leaders, or public intellectuals. On the surface, they look like rebels, truth tellers, or independent voices. Underneath, they exist in an ecosystem funded, filtered, and amplified by the aging billionaires pulling the strings. The deal is simple. They get money, status, comfort, attention, brand deals, movie roles, label support, platform pushes, and algorithmic love. In return, they stay within the lines. They are allowed to be edgy in safe ways, swear a little, push sexual boundaries, criticize certain politicians, have raw conversations, play around with taboo topics, go after individual villains, talk about mental health or self-improvement. But they are not allowed to seriously challenge the foundations of the system that feeds them. Like calling out how the orchestrators are engineering societal collapse through subscription models and cost of living traps. They might nibble at the edges of corruption, They do not bite the hand that signs the checks. Most people don't understand how carefully curated mainstream success is. You don't just accidentally become the biggest artist, or the most visible influencer, or the face of a movement without serious backing. The same aging billionaires who own the labels, studios, platforms, and networks also control what gets amplified. If they are pushing someone hard, it's because that person is profitable, controllable, or both. If someone truly threatens that setup, they don't get boosted. They get ignored, smeared, demonetized, deplatformed, or starved of opportunities. You don't have to be given a script to be controlled. You just need your survival, your brand, your income to depend on staying inside invisible boundaries. So when you see an aging billionaire pulling the strings, or a celebrity talk about politics, morality, or what society needs, understand what you are actually looking at. This is not some neutral, intelligent person casually sharing deep insights with you. This is a node in a power network reinforcing the system that made them rich and relevant. One that keeps your daily life on a subscription drip while blaming your neighbour for your empty wallet and the broader societal downfall. They might sincerely believe what they are saying. They might have convinced themselves that they are doing good. That doesn't change the function they serve. Their voice carries because the system chooses to amplify it. You hear them because someone powerful wants you to, and because their faces are everywhere. Your brain does something predictable. It thinks their words matter more. Familiarity becomes authority. Visibility becomes credibility. If they are on every screen, they must know what they are talking about. They become reference points for your own beliefs. You start phrases with, well, X said, or Y thinks. As if that's an argument. You absorb their opinions as if they came from your own reflection, instead of a carefully polished media personality whose career depends on staying marketable to sponsors, to the orchestrators. This is where envy gets weaponized. You don't just listen to them. You want to be them. You want their lifestyle, their house, their cars, their body, their clothes, their relationships, their aura of importance. You want the feeling of people listening to you like that. You want your words to matter, your face to be recognized, your bank account to be bottomless. So when they speak, you are not evaluating their arguments. You are chasing their approval. Agreeing with them feels like being closer to them. Disagreeing with them feels like stepping away from the fantasy version of yourself you've built in your head. That's how they get you doing the bidding of the aging billionaires without ever talking to you directly. They don't need to call you. They talk to their influencers, their editors, their celebrities, their talking heads, their independent commentators, who all operate within a range of acceptable opinions. Those people then talk to you. You argue. You riposte. You mimic their takes. You build your identity around what they feed you. You become the enforcement mechanism. You shame, cancel, mock, and attack anyone who steps outside the range. Because if they are right, and the whole game is rigged, then everything you've invested into this system is a joke. It's easier to protect the illusion. Tribal politics is one of the system's favourite illusions, because it gives you a costume and a team. Humans crave belonging. The Asian billionaires pulling the strings know this. So they offer tribes. We are the real patriots. We are the real progressives. We are the real free thinkers. We're the ones who care. Each tribe comes with colours, hashtags, certain words, certain enemies, certain heroes. You adopt the package deal. What you rarely ask is, who benefits if my entire sense of self is wrapped around this tribe instead of around my own material reality and power? Like the fact that we are all getting crushed by the same subscription fees and cost of living hell they designed to orchestrate the downfall. Look at how quickly people will defend aging billionaires and celebrities they have never met. Someone criticises a tech founder, or a media mogul, or a superstar, and regular broke people swarm to protect them like unpaid PR agents. It will explain why that billionaire deserves every cent. Why you are just jealous. Why if you worked harder, you'd be there too. As if they were on that level. The psychological trick is obvious. If you identify with the powerful, criticizing them feels like criticizing your future self. Admitting the game is stacked feels like admitting you will never make it. So you defend people who would step over you without blinking, because they represent a dream version of you. Even as they hike your Netflix bill and blame inflation on government spending instead of their monopolies. Be envious of the orchestrators of societal downfall, not your common man grinding through the same hell you are. Not because having money is evil, or because success is bad, but because the envy will rot you from the inside out. It will make you resent your current life and obsess over their lives. It will make you chase their approval, copy their opinions, and then turn on anyone who questions them. It turns you into a fanboy of your own oppression. You are not just being emotionally manipulated. You are volunteering for it. The harsh reality is this. Most of the people you idolize are not thinking about you. Not when they go to sleep. Not when they wake up. Not when they are negotiating deals. Not when they are deciding which communities get gutted by the next round of efficiency improvements or subscription price hikes. You are a data point, a follower, a potential customer, a vote, a number in a report. The distance between your actual life and their life is not just money, it's power. They can move markets, shape policy, tweak algorithms. You cannot. So why are you hanging your self-worth on their approval? Why are you treating their political takes like amendments, while your rent check bounces? The system runs on your emotional energy and your monthly payments, your outrage, your fandom, your envy, your fear of missing out, your need to belong, your subscription renewals. Attention is the currency that they turn into money and control. They want you arguing about which rich man is the good one, which celebrity is on your side, which aging billionaire is secretly a hero. They do not want you asking why so much power is concentrated in the hands of people you never voted for, never met, and can never hold accountable. People who control your daily life, from the grocery bill to the internet you are watching this on, all while orchestrating the collapse. They want you to pick your favourite master, not to question why you need one. So what do you actually do with this realization? It's not enough just to say, aging billionaires bad, celebrities fake, and walk away feeling superior. That's just another identity you can cling to while changing nothing about your life. The point is to reclaim your mind from the conditioning. That starts with noticing how often your opinions are second-hand. How much of what you believe is actually yours? How much of it is a remix of takes you absorbed from people with massive platforms? How often do you feel brave for repeating what is already socially safe to say? And silent when it comes to truths that might actually cost you social approval, like admitting we are all in the same subscription-fueled rat race engineered by the orchestrators. You also need to rethink what success means. If your definition of winning is becoming like them, you've already lost. You are chasing a version of life that was never designed for you. Built by rules you don't control. Guarded by people who see you as a resource, not a peer. There is nothing wrong with wanting money, stability, comfort, or recognition. But if you want those things, aim to build them in ways that don't require you to sell your soul to the same system you claim to hate. Own more of your time, your skills, your work, your relationships. Shrink the amount of your identity that depends on the approval of people with more money than you. Cut the subscriptions that don't serve you. Share resources with people around you. Build local power instead of feeding the machine. This also means stepping back from tribal warfare. Not becoming centrist in that lazy, spineless sense of both sides are the same so I don't care, but in the sense that you refuse to let any colour, party, or label own your own brain. You can see where a tribe makes a good point, and where it is full of shit. You can agree on specific issues, and still refuse to turn yourself into a soldier for their brand. Your loyalty should be to reality, not to slogans. To what actually improves the material conditions of your life and the lives of people around you. Like fighting the cost of living squeeze together. Not what generates the most likes or claps from your echo chamber. And you have to accept, there is no pure, safe place outside all systems and manipulation. You are always inside the same structure. The difference is whether you walk through it awake or asleep. Awake means you understand that every message, every hero, every outrage wave has someone behind it who gains from your reaction. Often, an aging billionaire cashing your sub fee while pulling strings for downfall. Sleep means you get yanked around by whatever the algorithm throws at you that day. Awake doesn't mean paranoid, but it does mean skeptical. Especially when the people talking to you are rich, pretty, famous, or important. If you manage to let go of envy, something interesting happens. You start seeing aging billionaires pulling the strings and shiny celebrities not as gods or goals, but as characters in a game. Some are more ruthless, some more decent, some more self-aware, most more selfish than they'd ever admit. But they stop being the center of your mental universe. You stop feeling like your life is a failure because it doesn't look like their curated feeds. You stop defending them. You stop needing them. And once you no longer need them, they lose a lot of power over you. You start seeing your fellow regular people not as enemies in some tribal blame fest, but as allies in the same mess. Ready to cancel subscriptions, share hacks, and push back together against the orchestrators. That is the quiet rebellion the system actually fears. Not riots, not hashtags, not the next viral calling out the elite speech, but millions of people who stop emotionally worshipping and defending the very structures that are holding them down. People who stop living on their knees in front of images on screens. People who can't be cheaply bought with status signals, brand names, or parasocial relationships with strangers. People who realise we are all in this cost of living nightmare together and start acting like it. Against the aging billionaires orchestrating the downfall. You don't have to hate rich people. You don't have to romanticize being broke. You just have to refuse to let envy turn you into a weapon against yourself or your fellow common man. Refuse to be a fanboy of your own exploitation. Refuse to confuse visibility with wisdom or wealth with virtue. Never forget, if the system can get you to spill your blood in its tribal wars, worship its richest winners, and call that freedom while you hand over your paycheck in sub fees, it never needs to put a gun to your head. You'll police yourself. Don't become envious. Direct that fire at the orchestrators of societal downfall, not your common man. Use that energy to become very clear-eyed about the game they are playing, the daily life control they've locked down, and then decide how much of your life you are actually willing to sacrifice to keep them comfortable. We are all in this mess. Time to stop blaming each other and look at who's really holding the strings.